Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Fifth verse. Kimihah kim kayah Sakalu kimupayastribhuvanam Kimadharo data Srijati kimupadana iti cha Atarkyaishvarye tvai Anavasaradusto hatadiyah Atarkyaishvarye tvai Anavasaradusto hatadiyah Avasaradusto hatadiyah Kutarkoyam kanschet Mukarayati mohaya jagatah. Okay. So, why do people negate an Ishvara and a Shakti? What are the reasons? So they say, if there is an Ishvara, Sadhata. Dhata means dhara. So the one, Dhadati iti Dhata, the one who protects this universe. So that Lord, Kimihaha. Kimihaha here is a compound word, means Ka iha yasya saha. So what sort of desire does he have? With what sort of desire? Tribhuvanam srijati. He creates these three worlds. Now, according to the Purana and other things, we talk about 14 worlds. So 7 up and 7 down, including this earth. Okay. So you can say 14 worlds, or you can just say 3. So this world that we are in, worlds above, worlds below. So you can talk about 3. So Tribhuvanam, these three lokas, abodes where people, Jivarashis are there. Okay. So today also people have to accept there are so many things below the earth. So even something, what is that? 80 days around the world, something going right into the, a story also was written, going into the earth, under the world. If anybody remembers that. No. Somebody going towards the center of the earth. There's a book that was written. I forget the name. So there are under the earth also volcanoes, mineral sources, water sources, terrestrial bodies. I mean, above we have got terrestrial bodies, galaxies, solar systems, so many things are there. So we can still today also talk about these 3 things. And as I said, the Puranas talk about these 14 worlds in the form of 3, dividing into 3. So what does that Ishvara, if he is there, what does he intend to achieve or accomplish by creating this world? Because nobody does anything without having some result in mind. There's a saying in Sanskrit, Palam anuddishya mandopina pravartate. So even a most foolish person also does not do anything without keeping some goal, some object in mind. So what unfulfilled desire does Ishvara have that he wants to fulfill by creating this world? And if he is unfulfilled and he wants to become fulfilled by creating this world, then that means he wants to prove himself. To whom does he want to prove himself? Because we are trying to think of Ishvara from our own angle. So in this world we feel that we are unfulfilled, So we are lacking, we are unacceptable to ourselves, and we think we are unacceptable to others, therefore we are unacceptable to ourselves, etc. So we want to achieve something, prove to others I am also somebody, so I can also achieve, etc. So I am somebody to reckon. So like this, Ishvara, what does he want to achieve? To whom does he want to prove himself? That kalu word is there, means that is parihasarte. So people, mockingly they ask this question. Then we know that if there is a potter, so the potter has a physical form, hands, legs, everything. So there is a form, and with that form he creates. So he has a body with which he creates. So kim kayaha srijati. So what form does Ishvara take in order to create this world? So if we accept that in pralaya everything is gone totally, there is nothing at all to start with. If so, there will be no form for Ishvara also. And if it will be a contradiction to say Ishvara has no form but he creates. Because anybody who creates something in this world, according to what we know, always has a particular body and with which only he creates. So what is the body? What is the form Ishvara has when he creates? Then as I said in the morning, in the world we see a kulala, a potter. So he is there, a person with head, hands, legs, etc. He is an intelligent creator of the pot and other clay things, not only just a pot. We usually use the word pot, but there are so many clay figurines that he creates also. And he wants to earn his living. He also wants to prove that he has got a skill in pottery. Therefore, he has got a iha, he has got a desire. And he has also got a material with which he creates. So he has got the clay available for him. So the material is called upadana in Sanskrit. So he should have, it is not enough that if he has got intelligence and skill to create, he should have a material also with which he can create. So then what? So he is going to ask now, Pushpadanta says they are all going to ask these questions. And again, what he has got upayas, he has got accessories, like a wheel, he has got a wheel, he has got a stick, so with which he turns the wheel, etc. And also he has got a location in which he can sit and make a pot. So in the case of creation of this world, there seems to be nothing available for this Ishvara before creation. There seems to be no material, no accessories, no location, etc. So because everything has to be created from scratch. Okay. So those people who do not accept an Ishvara, they ask this question, Sadata kimiha srijati, kim kayaha srijati, with what purpose or desire does he create, with what form does he create, kimupayaha srijati. So what are the accessories, what are the means with which he creates? Kim adaraha srijati. So kutra stitaha, where does he stay and where does he create? Okay. And in what location does he stay before creating? Kim upadanaha, with what material does he create? So give us answers for all these things that only we can accept. Now the question is, they are trying to project what they know and they want Ishvara also to fit in this category. Now let us, so Swamiji used to go like this. So he will always say, here is a child asking the father or mother, whatever it is. So daddy, who created this world? So the daddy feels that I am teaching my son something, etc. He says, God created this world. Then he asks this question, where was God before he created this world? Now the father has to give an answer. So then he thinks and then he says, he was in heaven before he created this world. Then who created heaven? So the son asks. So daddy says, okay, only the Lord Bhagavan created this heaven. He didn't realize there is going to be another question following. She said, where was God before he created heaven? Now this question has to be answered. Now the question is, Father was not able to answer this question. Therefore, as usual, he said, shut up, go and do your homework. No, don't pester me with questions. So the son, his mind wouldn't deep. See, we are very curious when we are children. All our curiosity gets killed as, as we grow older. Okay. So he thought and he thought. And then finally he said, Daddy, I have found out the answer. So he was happy. Okay, this person is got the answer. And so, yes, what is the answer? He said, God was in hell before he created. So you told me there are three things. There is this earth, there is a heaven, there is a hell. Then God, before God created this world, he was in heaven. And he created the heaven. Before creating heaven, he was in hell. Now, the father has to agree or agree. If he agrees, there are problems. If he doesn't agree, also he has to give answer. Then the next question will be, who created hell? Okay. And where was God before he created hell? So this will go to endless questions. Or if you accept the answer that he was in hell, then why did he create a hell for himself? Who created this hell and put God in hell? All these questions will follow because we want God's way of creating to follow our pattern. So like somebody, you stay in a rented house and then you build a new house. And then you build a new house and then you move in there. Now very often what happens is you build it downstairs because you had only that much money. Then you found that there was some problem in the planning, etc. And therefore, then what happens? What are all the problems that are there downstairs? Now you solve it when you build upstairs. So it is something like this. So God found some problems with hell, therefore he created heaven, etc. It'll go. So all these problems will be. So iti cha, in this way, anena prakarena kutarkaha. So in this form, there is a wrong, perverted reasoning of theirs. And so, atarkya aishwarye toyi, with reference to you, whose lordship, overlordship, is unquestionable, it is undebatable. So, you cannot. So any logic is actually from a known you are going to unknown. From some generalization you have got already. From that with reference to a specific condition, you are trying to extrapolate. You are trying to infer something. So here also, when we are trying to do this about Ishvara is not available for our logical reasoning. This must be understood clearly. So Ishvara cannot be proved only by logic. So this must be understood. We will be discussing this a little later. So iti atarkya aishwarye tvayi anavasara dhustaha. So that is, there is no this logic that they are presenting has no scope whatsoever. It does not stand with reference to you. So because you are beyond logic. Okay. Now even in our ordinary day-to-day life, we have certain things that won't fit into this. So anything that goes up should fall by the law of gravity, by the pull of gravity. It's not so. Birds are able to fly. They are against gravity. Planes are flying against gravity. So beyond atmosphere there is no gravity. So anything that moves, we should be able to trace the path in which it has moved. Not necessary. Now in quantum physics you say that the particle is here and a little later there. The path in between you are not able to exactly how did it move, etc. We are not able to find. That's why it's called a quantum jump. So there are so many things here also which don't stand to reason exactly. So in this way, they do this wrong argument, kutarka. All this kutarka that they are doing, this fallacious logic, jagataha mohaya, it only leads to people getting confusion. It leads to confusion of the world. When you say world means it's not just a physical world, it is a world of people. Okay. So the word atarkya shows Ishvara's existence or his Aishwaryam Shakti cannot be arrived at by pure reasoning. Okay. Because Vedanta shows that Ishvara is beyond the scope of our logic. Now we should understand one thing. What is beyond logic is neither illogical nor logical. Okay. So that is, you cannot judge it and say it is illogical, nor can you say it is logical. Okay. So we can have supporting logic for what Shastra says. That is called Shruti Sammata Tarka. So this author is going to show in the next sloka. So, in fact, in the Vidyaranya, in his Panchadashi says, Achintyaha kalu ye bhavaha tan tarkena na yojayet. So there are so many things which cannot be really answered with logic. In such cases, you should not bring in logic. Okay. So by asking questions, who has seen Ishvara? Has anyone seen him creating? So where is he? All these. So some people therefore come to a conclusion that there is no necessity for a creator because world has always been there. If world has always been there, then there is no necessity for a creator. Or some people just say there is no necessity for an intelligent being. Matter just evolved. On one fine day, consciousness also was brought, came into this matter, and therefore there is no necessity for postulating an Ishvara. So even Astika Darshanas, this morning I talked about those who believe in the authority of the Veda, those people also like Sankhya Matam, Vaisheshika Matam, Purva Mimamsakas, etc. do not accept an Ishvara. Now, this, just a little aside I am going. Now let us look at it. Normally, so whenever we are saying God in heaven created this world, etc., generally we accept it as when you are young. So always we look up, God means he must be somewhere up, and we look up there, etc. But the question is, all these questions come only now when we have to answer another question, is what is the material with which Lord creates. There also, if you try to bring in our own logic here, so the potter makes a pot from clay which is different from him. Therefore, the intelligent cause is different, the material cause is different. The goldsmith is different, the gold is different. The carpenter is different, wood is different. So in our common parlance, we find the creator, the maker, and the material from which he makes are different things. But this logic will not apply there, because there is nothing other than Ishvara for him to have another material. Supposing he makes, okay, he also needs a material from which he is going to make this world. Then the next question will arise, who made that material? Okay, so the goldsmith did not create the gold. The potter did not create the clay. The carpenter also, actually, he goes and buys wood already from persons who have already cut the trees and then made them into planks, etc. He goes and buys from them. Therefore, he gets the material from somewhere else other than himself. Okay. If Ishvara also has got to get a material from somewhere other than himself, now the next question, first question that arises, who made that material? Did God make that material? Then if God himself made that material, that again becomes a creation. And from what material did he make that material? From what material did he make that material? From what did he make that material? It goes into an infinite regression. And again, supposing he didn't make the material, he obtained the material from somebody else. And then he made this world. Okay, now in the world, again let us see our own knowledge. Okay, supposing the goldsmith has to buy the gold from somewhere else, okay, then the person who is selling the gold, due to some this thing, he wants to prove himself in control. He may refuse to supply the goldsmith with gold. Then the goldsmith capacity to create has no value at all, because he is dependent on for his material on somebody else. So the material supplier can make this manufacturer go out of job by not supplying. Same problem will happen to Ishvara. If somebody else is going to supply the material, then actually that person will be at an advantage. And then we have to say that there was another person who created that material and is supplying. So all these will, the normal norms that we use here for the creation within the world cannot apply to Ishvara. So the second thing is, now let us see, there is a logic that we can use. See, the logic that one can use is, so yat karyam tat sakartrikam. So this is just, I am saying in Sanskrit, I will be translating to you. Anything that is a product must have a maker. Okay. So if there is something, it's a product, whether you have seen or not, if you can say it is a product, there should be somebody who produced it. So these are all vivid scenes vivid memories that I get. So Swamiji used to, in the public talk, he'll be saying, now he'll say, this watch, how I got it, he will say, and then he'll say, I went to Switzerland. Those days Swiss watches were very famous. So I went to Switzerland, and there I found that there was a valley in which, just like spring, the watches were coming. And therefore I picked one, and from there and came. Would you accept it? You won't accept it, because you have seen some other people making watches, etc. So watch is a product. Therefore there must be somebody who made. So because you have seen people making these products, therefore whatever logic we are trying to use here, we should see if we can really establish Ishvara by logic or dismiss him by logic. This should be understood very clearly. Okay. So yaha yasya. Okay, first level I said yadyat karyam tat sakartrikam. Whatever is a product should have a karta, a maker. Number one logic. Then Jagat is karyam. Therefore, Jagat must have a karta. Okay. In this, to say this Jagat, this world is a karyam, is a product. Even though in the example that I gave, you have not seen that watch which Swamiji showed being made, but you have seen watches similar to that being made. Therefore, you can say this is a product. To say the world is a product, you should have seen another world being made. But we have not seen another world being made. Therefore, with logic, first of all, it is difficult to establish that the world is karyam. Okay, we will keep this, we will be using this logic, but with a little modification. The second point in the logic is that yo yasya karta saha tadnyaha. So, whoever made something, that person has a knowledge about that product. He has got the know-how about the product. So, Jagat or Sarvasya Karta should be Sarvajnaha. The maker of this entire universe must be somebody who knows about this entire universe. Again, same related logic is Yo Yasya Karta Saha Tat Shaktiman. Whoever has made something, Not only should he have the knowledge about that, he should also have the skill to make it. He must be a samarthyavan. And sarvasya karta, sarva shaktiman. The person who has created everything should have the capacity to do everything. Now, even though this we may use as a supporting logic, now you cannot say that even though any product should have a creator, and that creator should be knowing, he may know more, but minimum he must know about that product, minimum he must have the skill to make that. He may have more skill. Now, but when we say this, now there is a little problem. The more, even in the case of a pot making, you may find that the potter is shaping the pot, his wife or somebody is there turning the wheel. Even for that, sometimes you find two people. So there may be a goldsmith making the gold ornament. There is somebody who is blowing that fire and helping in many ways. So all this, there may be more than one person. And the more complex a product is, more makers are involved. So you have got a big building. So there is one person, architect is one person, the one who is building all the bricks putting them together is one person, one who is putting the windows, etc. is one person, putting the plumbing is one person, the electrical work is looked after by one person. So whether this earth being so complex, in the world what all we can think of as very complex, that itself has got so many people involved. Now imagine this universe. It is so complex with so many things that is there. So by logic you cannot say it is ekakartrikam or anekakartrikam. Whether there is only one maker for this or there are many makers for it. So we cannot arrive at by logic. So and again on earth we find maker and material are different. But so the same thing we are looking for in the world also with reference to this creation of the world, that also the intelligent and material causes are different. I already pointed out to you, if they are different, then there will be some logical problems. And since we don't have any data about Ishvara, we cannot really come to a conclusion about Ishvara just only by logic. So he says here, so those people, hatadiyaha, those whose intellect has been destroyed. So those people only, they are actually try to establish you with the help of logic. Try to establish you or dismiss you with the help of logic. Okay, but that logic is dustaha, it doesn't stand. Ayam kutarkaha kanschit, so it confuses certain people. Jagataha mohaya, so being conducive for confusing everyone. Kanschit mukarayati, it makes certain people garrulous, vociferous. So they think that they know how to establish or dismiss Ishvara by logic, and they talk and talk. Mukarayati means makes a person talkative, makes a person garrulous. Okay. Now, so according to them, they are thinking by their strong talk that really they are establishing and proving that Ishvara is not there, etc. But actually it causes moha for themselves and moha for everyone. Okay. So in the very definition of the Veda as a means of knowledge is what you cannot know by pratyaksha, direct perception with your sense organs, and what you cannot establish by logic. With reference to that alone, Veda is a means of knowledge. So perhaps I should talk a little about pramanam here. So pramanam means means of knowledge. Now in this world we come to know so many things. So by perceiving with our eyes or extension of the power of the eyes by using telescope, microscope, all those things, etc. Then we we also hear a lot of things, and so we use our Shotrendriya, the organ of hearing, and we come to know about so many things. Again, we can by using public address system, by magnifying the noise, so you can also hear better. Then with your nose, you come to know the smells. With your tongue, you come to know the taste. With your organ of touch, the skin, you come to know various things. How the touch, the feeling that you get by touch is. So you come to know about the various colors with the eyes, various types of sounds with the ears, various types of smells with the nose, various tastes with the tongue, and various types of touches with the skin. With what we know from the pratyaksha pramana, direct perception, based on this and based on our observation, that we have always seen these two things connected. So we can make a generalization. For example, this is a common example that is given is, so we always see smoke and fire together. So we see wherever there is smoke, there is fire. Therefore, we have seen in so many instances. Therefore, we make a generalization. Wherever there is smoke, there should be fire. Now, in a particular place, you see smoke. Then you can infer that there should be fire there. So now in this inference, you are only inferring the fire. You are seeing the smoke with your eyes. That is direct perception. Only the fire aspect in that particular place where the smoke is seen, that is the inference. And previously also, it was by direct perception that we came to a generalization that smoke and fire are connected. Okay? So, like this we have got so many things. We day in and day out we are using this inference. So, you run your car, you run your scooter based on this inference. So, there is a particular fuel tank indicator. Okay. So, as long as it is in the green, the tank has got enough fuel. And so, when it comes to the red, that means the fuel tank is becoming empty. So now, whenever the indicator is in the red line, there is not enough fuel. Now the indicator is in the red line. Therefore, there is not enough fuel. So the next petrol station, I should go and get the petrol. Now, supposing that indicator got stuck in green. God forbid. If it got stuck in green, then you had it. You will get caught somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Okay? So, as long as now the premise for the reasoning is okay, then your reasoning will be okay. So, the whole flight, they are flying by actually somebody directing from below. All this is going on only in a particular way. Otherwise, there is so much of problem. So many things, if you get into this thing, almost everything, your diagnosis, everything is by inference. Most of the time, we are doing inference. But the inference is a means of knowledge. Whole science is inference. It is based on direct perception. The famous example that is given is that in this, Alexander Fleming was trying to grow this pencil, grow some other organisms in that medium. And he found that there was no growth of that, but he found some other growth there, some other fungus was there. then what he had inculcated, sort of put into that, that was not growing. Therefore, he can reproduce the experiment. So again, he took this fungus and put it in one culture medium, and he had another culture medium where there was no fungus, and he again put in these organisms. So where the fungus was, this did not grow. Where the fungus was not, this grew. Therefore, fungus has got a capacity to prevent the growth of these organisms. This is how penicillin came into the picture. The whole of science, now you can reproduce. Science means you can reproduce the experiment here. So, again, presumption, all those things, etc. I am not going to talk about other things. So, inference, presumption, etc. are means of knowledge based on direct perception. So, what is not available for direct perception, what is not available for inference, then about those things only Veda talks. When that is so, then how to bring this Veda into the field of Tarka? That's why those people who know will say, some people write articles Veda is very scientific. Veda is very scientific. Veda cannot be scientific because he does not fall into the field of logic or inference. So, the problem, does it mean that, okay, if you say Veda is not scientific, does it mean it is unscientific? That also is not there. What can fall within the scope of logic alone can be scientific or unscientific. So this we should understand. So if at all Veda should talk about anything that we can know by our own knowledge, then we say that Veda is not the means of knowledge with reference to this. We say it is an anuvada, it is a reiteration of what we already know. For example, the Saraswati river is talked about in the Veda. Then does it mean that Veda is a means of knowledge for knowing Saraswati river? No. Saraswati river is talked about in the Veda. Now they have been able to discover the Saraswati river today. That means it's available for direct perception. Then if Veda has talked about it, is at that time it was there, people saw it, therefore Veda restated what we already know. So over a course of, over a period of time, the course changed and therefore it was not found. Therefore, some people thought this only Saraswati is a mythical river and whatnot of things. They have now proved it very clearly. So wherever the Veda talks about what we already know in our day-to-day life, it is called anuvada. It is only a repetition of what we know. So there is a statement. Agnihi himasya beshacham. So fire is a remedy for cold weather. Everybody knows. A fellow who has not even heard the word Veda knows. Then the Veda need not tell him. Therefore, Veda is a means of knowledge only with reference to what we cannot know. Then naturally, so about Ishvara also we come to know only from the Veda. That is why in the Brahma Sutram we have the first four sutras. Okay, I have to tell you for people who don't know, Brahma Sutram is a set of sutras, short pithy sentences, which analyze and talk about what is said in the Upanishads. Okay. So it will be, sutra means it will be only short, even in mathematical sutras and all that, very short sentences. So the first sutra says, Atato Brahma Jignasa. I am not going to teach Brahma Sutram now, just quickly going through. So the first statement is saying, so therefore, thereafter, there is a desire to know Brahman. So then there is an explanation, because if you have any equations, anything that is given in mathematics and other places, it's a short way of remembering something, but you should know what the whole equation, the explanation you should know. So also for the sutras, the explanation should be known. That is why Shankara has written a bhashyam for that. Now, thereafter, what is means after what, therefore, because of what, all those things are explained. The desire to know Brahman. Now, because it is in a sutra form, the word Brahman flows into every next sutra. Then what is that Brahman? Brahman is, so, Janmadi asya yataha. So, that from which the origin, the sustenance and the destruction of this world is from whom? That is Brahman. Then the third sutra says, Shastra Yonitvat. Now the Shastra Yonitvat sutra we say twice. Number one is, he is not only the creator of this world, he is also the author, he is the creator, author of the very scriptures, Shastram also. Second time we repeat that sutra to say, Shastram is the means to know Ishvara. Okay? So, Ishvara is the author of the Shastra first time, and Shastra becomes the means to know about Ishvara. But when Shastra talks about Ishvara and what exactly he is or what Ishvara Tattvam is, we can have supporting logic to understand what it says. We cannot establish the presence of an Ishvara or dismiss Ishvara logically, but we can have supporting logic to know that what the scripture says should be true. Okay. So, by asking such questions as, who has seen Ishvara, who has seen him creating, where is he, so etc. Actually, they are trying to figure out by logic an Ishvara or dismiss an Ishvara with a logic. So, so now, Pushpadanta he is writing a stotra here. So he is not now challenging the Nastikas, and he is not going to give an answer to the Nastikas straight. But he places his logical understanding itself as an offering at the feet of Shiva. So let us read the next sloka. Ajanmano lokaha kimavayavanto jagat kimavayavantopi jagatam kimavayavantopi jagatam adhishtataram kim bhavavidhiranadritya bhavati anisho va kuryat bhuvana janane kaf parikaraha yato mandastvam pratyamaravara sansherata ime. Okay. Hey Amaravara, O Lord of the Devas, the best among them. So Di means to shine. So the Devas are supposed to be bright, intelligent beings, and he is the Lord of even the Devas. Now, this is something repeatedly Puja Swamiji used to point out to us, that I used one logic. I quoted one logic, but that logic cannot be proved. I also said, so yat karyam tat sakartrikam. So when I said that whatever is a product, it should have a creator. So you should establish that the universe is a product. To establish that the universe is a product, one way is you have seen a similar universe being created, therefore you can establish this is a product. I said we have not seen any other universe being created, therefore we cannot establish it that way. See, that is, in the in the case of the inference that I told you, wherever there is smoke, there should be fire. That hill has got smoke, therefore it should have fire. Now, you have to prove first that the hill has got smoke, or what you are seeing is smoke. Supposing what you are seeing is a fog, then your inference will be wrong. So, if you cannot prove that the universe is a product, then your logic that it should have a creator also will be a problem. That is why he always used to say, whatever is intelligently put together should be a creation. Whatever has got parts which are intelligently put together, that is a creation. Now, without seeing another thing being created, you can establish what you are seeing is a creation by this logic. So, avayavavantaha lokaha. So, these worlds that are there, this entire creation has got avayavas. It has got parts. So, what has got parts is put together. So, clay particles are all put together into the form of a pot. Okay? So, like in the case of a watch, parts are put together. In the case of a table, legs and top are put together. House, walls, etc. are put together. Machines, parts are put together. Trees, parts are put together. Human body, parts are put together. So, animal bodies, parts are all put together, we can say. In fact, even each avayava in your body is again put together with so many cells. And each cell is put together with so many other things there. So all of them have further and further parts to put together. Therefore, whatever is put together, that putting together into a particular form is the origin or utpatti. That is the janma. Okay? So the time that it is put together as a whole, then you say that is its janma, that is its birth time, that is the manufacturing time, whatever. Now put together does not mean, that's why we add on one more word, put together does not mean putting together haphazardly, thrown together, okay. So it should be intelligently put together to serve a purpose. You know, this is a... How many of you don't know Tamil at all here? Okay. So you also don't know. Okay, you didn't put up, never mind. I'll say this thing in Tamil and then I'll anyway explain in English. Okay. See, there's a word called Kayalan Kadai. You know, I was actually trying to find out why it is called Kayalan Kadai. Then I found out the origin in the Google search that Kayal Patnam, there is a particular place called Kayal Patnam. And around that place, actually, there are a lot of people who are dealing with this scrap, that ship, that was a particular port there. And then there were a lot of people who were involved with this scrap material from the ships, etc. So the persons who belong to this Kayal Patnam, who always deal in this scrap material, is called Kayalan. And then the place where they have all the scrap material is called Kayalan Kadai. Okay, that's it. So like this, in a junkyard, so things are thrown together. There are 4 tires. There, on top of it, there are the seats, and then there is a steering wheel that is there. Some mud guards are there, etc. All of them just thrown together haphazardly. You're not going to call it a car. Okay. It's only a dumping place. It is not a real car. So only when it is assembled together intelligently, each part being in its respective place, and together it should serve a purpose, then only you can call it a creation. Now when you look at this whole universe, there is so much of law and order, intelligence involved. Okay. So previously things that are separate now intelligently assembled together with a new form and name, that is called Janma. Therefore now we can reframe our, based on this, we can reframe our logic and say, Yad Yat Avayavavat Tat Tat Janmavat. Whatever has got parts put together has got that putting together is in the origin of it, so it has got a janma, it has got a birth. Avayava vatvat, gatikavate, car yanavate, okay, like a car, like a watch, like a clock, things are put together. Then from this generalization, now you go to the specific thing. So in any logic, there should be a generalization, and you should give one or two examples that you have to show that you have made an observation. So that statistically this observation is correct. And then you say now, you come to this inference, lokaha avayavavantaha, therefore janmavantaha, that is sajanmanaha. So they have got this whole, in this world, whatever we look at is intelligently put together. Therefore this world should have an origin, should have come into existence at a time. The next thing you can go, logic is step 2, yatyati janmavat utpattivat tat tat sakartritkam. Whatever has got an origin, then that should have a person who has put together and brought it into existence. Like a pot, like a clock. Okay. So, so that's why we have got a manufacturing date. So the other day I was asking the driver in the taxi, I came here. I said, how come? I was sitting in the passenger seat, somehow I had not put on the belt. Then he put on his belt. I said, how come I have not put on the belt? It's not making a noise. Otherwise, usually it will be making a noise. Then he said, any model before this time, they did not have a warning sign for the passenger seat person. So models after that only, if the passenger seat person also does not have the shoulder strap on, then there will be a noise. So every car has got this year model, that year model, etc. It has got a. So whatever has got a birth created should have an intelligent maker, karta. Now look at the difference. Just coming to a conclusion that this world is a creation is different from saying that this world must have been created because it is put together with a law and order. Intelligently put together. From that we have a supporting logic that there should be a karta, adhishtata. Now let us put all the words together. Lokaha avayavavantaha api kim ajanmanaha. So all these worlds, even though they have got all parts which are put together intelligently, how can they be without birth? How can they be without being created by something? In this way, jagatam bhavavidhi adhishtaram anadritya bhavati kim. So in this way, can this orderly creation exist without taking into account an adhishtata, a creator? Adhishtaram anadritya, without taking into consideration a creator, can there be an intelligent creation of this earth? Can it exist at all without an adhishtata, a ruler, an overseer, a creator? How can it be? And are they ajanmanaha? Are they? So all these are rhetoric questions. So rhetoric question meaning, so can it be without an origin or birth? Yes. It should. That is, it can't be. Yes means when I say sorry. It cannot be without having a birth or origin, because it is an intelligent assemblage. An intelligent assemblage means creation. Creation means there should be a creator. Now, let everything in the world consist of parts. So what? So because they consist of parts, they are sajanmanaha. They have a beginning, they have an origin, they are created. Let them be created. So what? So they cannot be created, they cannot come into existence by themselves. So insentient things cannot assemble themselves together to become a meaningful, intelligent creation. Without an intelligent creator behind, they can never put themselves together to make. In computer graphics, you can have bricks all come together, then something cement is there on top, then suddenly the wall rises, etc., etc. Even there is an intelligent person who is operating the computer graphics. So though it looks everything is coming by itself, it is not so. So without an intelligent creator, without a person who oversees the whole creation, there cannot be a creation. Okay, let there be an adhishtata, let there be a intelligent creator, ruler, so what? Bhuvana janane anishaha kaha parikara. See, there are two readings. One is parikaraha is there. In some books you have got parikaram. I don't know whether, I think the R.K. Mutt book has got parikaram. I think if anybody has got that book open, just let me know. Parikaraha, okay. No, one other book had got parikaram, okay. So first I'll... So you can look at it this way. Bhuvana janane anishaha kaha kuryat. So who other than you, Ishvara, who other than you who has got the capacity to rule, who other than you can create this world? Then you can extend it and say anishaha kaha parikaraha. Parikaraha means samarthaha. Who other than an Ishvara who has got all the capacity, who has got the capacity to rule, to capacity to create, who other than an Isha is samarthaha. Parikaraha means samarthaha. If the word parikaram is there, who other than you, who doesn't, without having such a capacity, who would attempt to make this world without having the capacity to create such a complex, mind-boggling world? So one must have extraordinary knowledge, extraordinary capacity, skill, etc. to create such a world. That's why we have got in the Purana, Vishnu Purana, two beautiful shlokas are given to define Ishvara, who is otherwise called Bhagavan. So the word Bhagavan means one who has got Bhaga. Then the next question arises, what is Bhaga? So that itself, the definition is given very beautifully. Aishwaryasya samagrasya dharmasya yashasaha shriyaha jnana vairagyayoho eva shannam bhaga iti irana. One should have a commanding, an overlordship. Then one should have yashas, kirti. So there are some reading differences there. So one other word that is there. So bala is also there. Then one should have the samarthyam for it. Then the resources for it, shri. Then the jnanam, the intelligence for it. And of course one who is dispassionate towards his creation. So all these things are called as bhaga. Now the question is, it is not just having this that is called bhaga. There is a word samagra, that is the most important thing. Samagra aishwaryam, samagra dharma, samagra yashas, samagra shri, samagra jnanam, samagra vairagyam should be. So that means a person should have to the fullest extent. All of us also, we have got some sort of lordship. That's why what happens is, somebody works in an office. That person is helpless against the boss. Okay, so all that anger now is taken out on the children or the wife in the house, and then you lord over that person. So you can lord over, that you may be angry with something also, you can beat your pet, you can do anything, etc. So you have got some lordship, but you don't have total. You are helpless against so many things, but you can rule over certain things. Like this, each person has got known for certain things, but it not total fame is not there with this person. Everybody has got some small resources, but total resources are not with the person. Everybody has got some jnanam, some knowledge, that is not total. So like this, all these things, the one who has got in total capacity, fullest amount, that having these things in the fullest amount is called Bhaga. One who has got all these things in the fullest amount is called Bhagavan. And not only that, this Bhagavan, according to the Shastra, Utpattim cha vinashancha bhutanam agatim gatim Veti vidyam avidyam cha savachyo bhagavan iti. A lot of explanation is to be done, but just I will. He know that the one who knows when the world should come into existence, when the world should be resolved, and then in between in the creation also, when every living being should come into existence, when they should be agati, when they should come into existence, when they should go out of existence, gati also, and then knows vidyamcha, vidyamcha. He has got knowledge about himself. Avidya here refers to knowledge about the world. So in the fullest amount, that person is called Bhagavan. Even in Tamil literature, in Thirukural, Bhagavan is called Engunatta. This Engunatta, different ways it is said, but keeping this word Bhaga in mind, I am just going to say. So he is supposed to have Tanvashattinan, he is supposed to be Swatantra, not dependent on anybody for anything. Then he is Vishuddha Dehatvam. So he is pure, ever pure, not a purity that is gained in time. So every day after bath we become Shuddha. Then again we become Ashuddha. Then we have to take a bath. Clothes become Ashuddha. Then we have to clean it. Like this, it is he ever pure. Then he is supposed to be Sarvajna, all-knowing. And this all-knowing also, now somebody, however much of knowledge any human being has got, this knowledge this person has picked up directly or indirectly from a teacher. When I say directly from a teacher, could have sat in a classroom and got it from the teacher. Otherwise, you get it from a Google guru or anything there. Today, artificial intelligence, so you can put, so somebody has put so many hours of lectures of Paramatmaji into artificial intelligence. Any intelligent question you ask, the question should be properly asked. Then immediately it churns out material, any amount. Like this artificial intelligence, already even Google, etc. was doing only with artificial intelligence. See, that is why, what shall I say, you go and look up one problem in the Google. What to do for knee pain. For the next 10 days, you open, you will have 101 things, covered. Any one thing you Google. All this is because they keep a track of this thing. So we also, there is an intelligence that is there. But then that intelligence also, that knowledge also is got from somewhere by collecting data from somebody. So whether the guru be virtual guru or real guru, it is from a guru that a human being gets a knowledge. But Ishvara Anadi Bodha, this knowledge that he has got he is never taught by a teacher. That's why we say he is Adi Guru. So not taught by any teacher, always that knowledge is there with that person without being taught. Then he is always free from desire, asanga. And he has got the capacity. So, two things, infinite amount of capacity, skill, and alupta shakti, ananta shakti, and then alupta shakti. See, somebody, we also have skill. But sometimes what happens, the skill goes like this. Okay. Some days we are able to do some certain things properly, another day it doesn't come okay. So there is no, there is no steadiness in that. And so for certain things we don't have the capacity. He is alupta shakti, means it's always there. Anytime he wants to invoke, it is there. And with all these things, he is purnaha, so triptaha. So he is ever full and satisfied, so never feeling a want. These are all things which are talked about Ishvara. So such a Ishvara, okay, without such an Ishvara, how can this world be there? So not only should he be in command of his creation, he should know what to create, when to create, how it should be, how exactly it should be created, and at all times he should know what has already gone by, what is yet to come. Yes. So without understanding all these things about Ishvara, without thinking, without listening to the Shastra, as to what Shastra has to say about Ishvara, these people, they say lot of things. So, hey Amaravara, Tvam prati ime mandaha samsherate. So, these dull-witted people, so they have got doubts regarding you. Samsherate. So from this verb only comes samshaya. So they have got lot of doubts about you, whether you exist or not, whether you are capable or not, whether you are the creator or not. You know, in Tamil, we have a saying, Yangathu Maapillai. So, it's son-in-law of our house. Then this person wants to say something wonderful about this son-in-law. So, he says, our son-in-law is wonderful. He knows everything except two things. Then what are the two things he doesn't know? Okay. He doesn't know things by himself. He will not listen when others tell also. So that too is enough. So like this, these people, they don't know by themselves, and they also question this Lord with their own dull-witted mind, without understanding what an Ishvara should be. See, imagine now today what all has been invented. So they are able to splice and introduce genes, new genes. There are drones which can really say. In fact, the other day, this was telling me, download this app. Anywhere in any corner of the world, any small house or cow also you can locate by downloading this app. I thought it was dangerous. So, but I'm saying such human beings can create this thing. So many things, so many scientific inventions, so many things are there. All these are based on discoveries of uncovering what is already there, uncovering the possibility that is there. Okay? So we are only slowly uncovering what all possibilities are there in this creation. Then what should the creator of such a universe be? It is unimaginable, unfathomable, and we are trying to fathom or dismiss or prove such an Ishvara with this small mind of ours. So, so in this way, itself saying you are somebody whom our small minds cannot establish, our small minds cannot dismiss you at the same time. So, in this way, Pushpadanta is offering a stotra to Ishvara. Then he is going to talk about in the next shloka, that is, here Pushpadanta is going, he looks at Shiva, his own Ishtadevata, as the ultimate goal to be reached. So in the last verse, he negated all these atheists. Now he is going to talk about other systems of philosophy, and he is going to say they have also some problems. So they are also trying to establish various things by logic. The paths for gaining towards Ishvara are many and different. But then there is ultimately you are the truth to be understood and gained. So that we will see tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. After the next shloka, you can relax a little. So we are going to have a lot of stories after that. Okay. Oh.